Excuse me, you know I beg your pardon for this interruption. Now back to regularly scheduled programming.
3, 2, 1. And here we are. We are in session number 23 of our Fool's Landing Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition. Welcome, everybody. I am Jamie. I'll be the Dungeon Master this evening for our 23rd session in the Forgotten Realms. We are joined today by two on-screen players and one that's hiding in the background, which you'll have to wait to see which one's hiding in the background here in a moment, because we're going to start with the first on my screen, which would be Adam. Welcome back.
Wow. Been a while. The last thing I remember, well, I'm playing Bart, priest of Lyra, Lady of the Mist. He got slapped by a white last time I remember playing.
Yes, that's right.
Unceremoniously lost a level, which is one of those fun things you find in. So he's struggling to maybe gain back what.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be something that he will has changed his course, right? So it's good to have you back, and it's good to have Bart back in the mix.
Or what happened after that, I think you'll.
Yeah, we'll try to fill in some of the blanks here in a moment. But I think there's a lot of familiar things that you'll hear, a couple new things as well. But next up is Chris. Good evening, Chris.
I am playing Kurza, the 4th level elven wizard, and he seems to be enjoying himself just kind of seeing new places, people, and things, and destroying a few of them.
Yeah, he's a aggressive wizard, let's say. He's
And
just a little aggressive.
kind of destructive, too, as it turns out.
Right. But effective. Has been more and more effective, actually. So he's been through some tough things, but he's come out stronger for it. So good to have
Staying
you.
conscious more often.
Yeah, staying upright, keeping his balance.
Always a bonus.
All right, and then we have our third player this evening who we can't get working with our Roll20 setup right now, so she's hiding behind the scenes here, but Molly, good evening.
Hello, I am playing a Mithra, and she is a 3rd level fighter, gladiator kit, Rashtamai woman.
Yes, and Mithra and has been here for most of the recent sessions, so probably might be the best one to help us start to fill in some blanks, but I'll kind of tee up a few things here. Let's see. First off, I guess let's double check your guys. What levels are you all? Third. Everyone.
Bart's got to go down to 3.
4th.
Oh, you're there. Okay. Okay, so he's 3. Okay. Oh, you're 4th. All right, he's 4th.
You got me at like 12,800 and some number.
Yeah, and I owe some XP for the last 2 sessions, which shouldn't affect anything for this session, but we'll update that along with tonight's XP for the next session. So it looks like we've got 3rd, 4th, and 3rd levels right now. With this current group, we've got a fighter, a wizard, and a cleric tonight. So it's a good mix. It's a good, effective group as far as skill set. So just kind of we'll hop over to the map of the Inner Sea and just do a quick recap of things. So the whole journey began in Westgate over a year ago in real time. And 23 sessions later, we have passed through the Isle of Presper, moved on to Raven's Bluff, have been now in the Earthfast Mountains, and gone back and forth between a few different layers in the Earthfast Mountains now, and to a town just on the north edge of the Earthfast Mountains called Dragon Falls, which is actually where the group left off last session, was back in Dragon Falls, which is a familiar place, I think, for Bart and Kurza. They would have remembered this little
Made it back.
village. Yeah. Let's see, where was that map? Here we go. And prior to this, let's see, this, I think this was the one we were using. Prior to this, we had returned. Molly, maybe you want to give a shot at sort of what had happened most recently. You returned last session with Ronnie to the village, and you brought something or someone with you. Maybe you want to give a shot at filling in on the most recent session.
Yeah, I have that his name was Ocular, and he was an Eye of the Dark Gaze. He was really uncooperative, but you know, we turned him over to the authorities at Dragon's Fall, and we were kind of greeted with a hero's welcome. When we told him that we had cleared the mausoleum of the undead.
Yes.
And then, yeah. And then we went to the inn and had a few drinks and told some stories.
Yeah, so the group was in, there was a couple of things that went on. I know, kind of just backing up to maybe where you all remember us being, there was a knoll cave that you had eradicated during your passage from Raven's Bluff towards Procampur. You stumbled into this knoll cave. You took care of the problem there. You found yourself in this village before, in the Dragon Falls village, where you had learned about some cult activity in the area. You went out to investigate that cult activity. You found on the mountaintop a mausoleum that led to this dark gaze that some cultists from this dark gaze were occupying, and you chased them out of there, killed many of them along the way. But you'll remember that as you left that mausoleum on that mountaintop, you spotted what looked like a winged creature flying off into the distance with someone on its back. And as you were returning from the mountaintop towards the I guess returning towards the village of Dragon Falls, you were in the dark forest. And let me pull up this map for a moment just to kind of fill in a little bit of last session. I don't remember if maybe I don't have it on this map. Let me double check. No, I don't think it's on this map. Yeah, something may have changed in the Roll20 session, so I apologize for that. But there was a dragon corpse that you had found last session. Molly, you remember the dragon corpse that was in the woods?
Yes. Yes.
What do you remember about that dragon?
Yes. Didn't we figure out that it was killed recently by, was it Harper's or the other party that we had ran into, maybe?
Yeah, you had found that it was full of a bunch of arrows.
Arrows.
And
that
the arrows looked pretty unique and high quality, and you were able to find, somebody was able to inform you that the arrows belonged to a man named Vanden, and that it looks like he may have been responsible for bringing down the dragon, or at least he was a part of the group that brought down the dragon. And it was a brownish dragon, and as it was laying there, you also observed that it looked like they had removed one of his scales near his chest, and that it was missing its scale, a huge scale off of its body, but otherwise was intact and laying there with some, arrows sticking out of it. So that was definitely got their hearts racing when they stumbled upon the corpse. And they started to basically leave the woods, and as they were leaving the woods, ran into a priest of Lathander who was able to just give them some advice about turning in the prisoner, and reaffirmed a few things. And so the group followed his advice, found their way back to Dragon Falls, and as Molly indicated, you were welcomed as heroes. There was a lot of revelry in the inn, and everybody was very gracious and willing to do what it took for the party. The prisoner was handed over to Cormac, who was the dwarf who is in charge of Dragon Falls, and they have now secured him, and I believe have given you all a reward for turning him in. And I think that's where we left off, where, this might be the following morning, as you are all awakening in the inn, feeling maybe no worse the wear. It was a worthy celebration with some locals that you spent last night doing. And as you wake up today, it feels like the town itself is just moving along at its slow pace. And so you all awaken, and we'll say that you're, back in the tavern in the morning as you sort of all come down one by one. Who's the first to rise, do you think, in this group amongst these three? Who's the early riser?
I've been up training since pre-dawn.
I only need 2 hours of sleep, so I could have been up and just kind of reading in my room, or find a squirreled away corner.
Is Bart the only one that needs sleep around here? I think that, so like he's like the sleepy one. The other two don't need sleep.
He's a little bit slow to rise too, and when he does his prayers and Julius to his lady, it's probably a bit more of questioning than praising at this point. He's still kind of
yeah, from the encounter with the white, he would be feeling probably a lot less confident about things, knowing that how quickly that happened, and how severe the consequence was of that thing making contact. So those are out there, and that was some type of thing that seems to be connected to the dark gaze that they control as well. So you've got this tattoo on your arm still, that has that symbol of the dark gaze on it, and now it has, I think, more meaning to you both, Kurza and Bart, that now you've seen the evil that's associated with just one part of it, and that there are many more symbols on it that don't seem to represent a whole lot of good things. So you're starting to kind of figure out the context of that, and I think you guys would reunite and maybe decide on what would be a next step as for the group. I know where we had left off, maybe the session before last was, there was some question about where the group wanted to head next, right? And whether or not they wanted to go backward to anything. And I know probably everybody has a little bit of a different opinion on it, but you find yourself here, so I'll let you guys decide where you'd like to take things from this point.
I've got the map that we found out on the table, sort of looking at it, puzzling over it, because I think the map is also pretty notable. The castle featured on it that we haven't been able to orient where it begins or where it's at.
Right.
Yeah. I'm thinking maybe asking Cormac or someone around town if they have any clue of where this castle on this map might be.
It's
actually
just a map of the castle, like an interior
It's
floor plan map?
It's for the location of a castle that
Mhm.
you were told, and I think you extracted some of this information from your prisoner, that you were told that the Dark Gaze has a large presence there, and it's sort of maybe their headquarters or maybe just a large contingent of them, but it seems to be that it may be where they have a central operation. So yeah, unfortunately, the map is kind of looks like it's just set amongst some mountains, and it's pointing to a location, and you can't really orient it. It seems zoomed in to where you don't know where it connects to the world that you're in. So
I do believe that we have also extracted from that prisoner that it was once occupied by Cormorian watches, I think. But maybe that's a clue that we can pursue.
mm-hmm. and yeah, and so there's some history that you all would have with the Cormorians, especially those of you who sailed across the inner sea with them. So yeah, you would know that the Cormorians have some interests and some history in this region, and that might, I think that one of you had used some lore check or something or history, something along those lines, and had learned that. So, but we were I think trying to take stock of, there were some, maybe still some folks that were wanting to continue to Procampur, which was sort of the plan at one point, and then now you've got new information, and so there might be a different feeling, right? And I know that in some of the past sessions, they probably didn't want to make all the decisions without there being a majority here. So it's something that you all will have to kind of decide where you want to go next and what you want to do from this point. But the map, you can show that
control
map.
is ours.
Yeah, you definitely can take control of that and decide the course. But unfortunately, the map is not recognizable to Cormac or his crew, and he's got a handful of other folks working with him that are of various races and backgrounds, and none of them seem to recognize the map or the region it's indicating.
Okay.
But and they say, maybe there's a scholar somewhere who could, but fortunately that Dragon Falls doesn't have that. So
Indeed.
So Birch was really only driven by his visions way back when he saw someone beckoning him back to the
yeah.
Of the other stuff coming up, I guess, a bit uncertain whether it's linked or not.
So the vision. Here's the vision. Do you remember this? So this would definitely be something that would be memorable to everyone, or to anyone who has heard Bart talk about it. But he had seen this from the bow of the ship as you were sailing away from the Isle of Procampur. And I think it would have been something that you'd all talked about, discussed, and considered for a while now. And one of the theories might be that this would be connected to the wizard who was outcast from Cormyr, and that perhaps he's occupying this. Or another theory might be that this is actually a temple, like a specialized temple, and only those who are welcome see it. So I think those are sort of the prevailing theories. You could decide where your character leans, or if you have your own theories, but just to kind of return to that, that's sort of where that would trigger Bart's memories, and where that comes from in your journey is back by the Isle. What else? Let's see. Put you guys back into the village here. And maybe, I don't know if it helps to give you the map, but the other thought was that returning to Talmanthar, the dwarven ruin, would be potentially something that you'd be more capable of now that you've advanced, quite a bit since the first time you were there. And that was another thought. I think someone else was considering returning to Westgate and trying to hunt down the Fire Knives, who seem to be using Westgate as a base of operations themselves. So there's several storylines, and each of you do still have, rumors and observations, I think, handouts that may or may not provide you with other motivations that your character may have, but also some connections in some of these places too. So it's really, a sandbox at this point in terms of what you may want to do. We can consider all angles.
Yeah, I'm just kind of reading the session 14 and 16 stuff.
Oh, in the
rumors,
the lore thing. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll just go into the end of this too to see what else was in there. Yeah, this is good. There's some good notes in the story notes from our lore keeping. So there's some good notes in here as well that may also trigger other things, but you have you also have this map now, right? Obviously, so that map leads to potentially another lead that may or may not, shed more light on your condition that you've got, and would of course disrupt some evil. So I know that's always something that gets the juices going with the group. But
well, I'd be in favor of moving towards something that would get us out from underneath the thumb of whoever has placed these tattoos on us. Because the rumors are much that they can control us at some point, too. And I'd like to get out from under that control.
Yeah.
We don't know how.
Yeah. From what I've seen with people with those tattoos losing their minds, I would say that should be our #1 priority. Because I just befriended you all, and I would hate to.
Speaking of which, you should be a regular party member now, not one of the, not a hireling. So you have full treasure access, shall we say.
Full share.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Your temporary employment has led to permanent companionship here with this team, so that's good to hear.
Yeah, I think that definitely needs to be corrected and upgraded there. So
I'm in this with y'all. I just don't want to go back to Ravenbluff for personal reasons. So.
Okay.
Anywhere you wish to go, and especially if it leads to some riches, because I'm still looking for my brother, and having some finances would help with that.
So did we learn anything else from our prisoner? And I don't quite understand the whole castle idea. So we know there's a castle, but we don't know which direction it's in.
Yeah, it seems like it's somewhere in an inland area, and so far nobody that's seen the map has been able to recognize the points in the map that would align it to Faerun. So you're not exactly sure where this place is yet because it's not giving you a pulled out view enough to nail that down. But the rumor, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that we know that the Dark Gaze is using it as a stronghold, right?
Right, correct. Yep.
I don't know that we want to necessarily find their stronghold yet.
With with just 3 of you? I mean, come on, you're ready. You're ready. Just
thinking we're still a little bit lower level, but messing with them more might be very interesting.
Yeah, well, I feel that we're better off being on the offensive in some sense than waiting for them to act next. But I agree that the 3 of us have no chance of taking a stronghold.
But more information would be useful.
And I think, like, it's worth noting that the tattoo, so the bottom symbol is the Dark Gaze, and that is the group that you've just encountered. The top symbol is the Fire Knives, who put this thing on you as far as you're concerned. They're responsible for putting this on you. And they're responsible for some of the nefarious things that happened back in Westgate. The other symbols you haven't yet, you did get, I think.
They were the ones that were fighting us in the temple in Ravensbluff too, were they not?
They were, right, exactly. So you have a history with the bookends of the symbols, right? You don't yet have a lot of knowledge or run-ins with the middle sections, but but just as Caddison told you, all those moons ago, what this is basically a collection of these groups that are working together, and the collective curse that's been placed on you will eventually take over your actions and potentially some of your decision making. So those would be things, yeah, that would feel more and more real now that you've run into the depth of evil, particularly with the Dark Gaze most recently being a disturbing group of cultists who somehow or other were on the back of a dragon at one point. So there's that. But I'll put up the map, and maybe that will help you guys think of what options you may or may not have.
We could just cut off our arms in hopes that, and then throw away the tattoo. Yeah.
They'll grow back.
Maybe.
There's a ring for that.
Indeed.
So maybe this gives you some ideas, but that's where you're currently standing, just north of Earthfast, and Procampur would be several days ride south. You can see it there towards the bottom of that peninsula. I think several of you would have known about traders and sailors that would be for hire leaving Procampur. Otherwise, you, I think, also have some general knowledge that Procampur is notably different than, let's say, Ravensbluff. That it's
morally strict than.
Yeah, they're a lot more strict. They seem to have
thieves and pirates.
Yes, yeah. So they seem to have a tighter, heavier hand in Procampur than they do in Ravensbluff, which seems to be a little bit more freewheeling. So you're not sure to what extent that will affect you guys, but just something to be aware of. I think the other thing about Procampur that you would have remembered too is that it has a similar story to Talmanther, in that there was a ancient dwarven civilization that Procampur was founded on, and that it's rumored that there's still ways to access it, right? And there was a similar story in Ravensbluff. So there's just some parallels there that would be noticeable to you, based on your journey.
Didn't some of us have a some contacts in Procampur as well? At least maybe Ronnie or...
Ronnie does. Ronnie does have a
'cause I know
contact.
he was keen to get there.
He was actually asked, I believe, to deliver a message to someone specifically in Procampur at some point. So because he said for sure he was going to go there, and I think he took on being a messenger. So I know he has a delivery he could make if you do end up over there. But I think
It's a
there are
pretty
other
good choice.
contacts. You may or may not have other contacts or other reasons to be in Procampur based on your character histories and
How
everything.
big is it?
It's about 15,000 people, so it's a little.
What was Raven's Bluff?
Ravens Bluff was I think about 20 to 25, somewhere in that range, so a little bit larger than Procampur.
Okay.
Yep.
So how difficult do we know is the pass over the Earthfast Mountains?
How difficult?
Yeah.
There are, I think with your current group, it might prove to be kind of challenging, because maybe you don't have someone that can navigate you through it necessarily that's specialized in that. So it might be, pretty challenging, but it's going to take you several days to get over the mountains and over to Procampur. So you believe it'll take 3 days total, and that pretty much half of that will be going up and down the mountains.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
part of the delay before was getting sidetracked by caves and
yeah. Luke,
things to follow. So,
there were some tempting things dropped in the middle there, but you were also, I think, avenging some of the militia from Dragon Falls, and that was one of the reasons why you were treated as heroes, because you found their dead bodies and you followed up on what did that and took care of it and brought back a cultist and everything. So that was another thing that you were hailed for, because most of them didn't return. So
is there any
mhm.
trade or travel between Dragon Falls and across the mountains anywhere to
Well,
beyond, or
the
are they pretty much cut off and when they
trade has been interrupted by the cultist activity. So, the thought now is that you have specifically made trade and passage easier by eliminating them. So it's not reopened yet, but you know that it was sort of disrupted for a while by the activity on the road. And as far as you know, you've addressed the things that you've encountered and kind of cleared the way. And that's what I think the locals think as well right now. So you don't have any reason to expect that there's something else up there. I mean, you do know that there were rumors of more gnolls in the area, and I'm sure you still have other questions about other things you've seen up there, but for the most part, that's about it.
So the castle, how confident are we that it's on the section of the continent where we're at now?
Your confidence is, I don't know. Do you have any skills like for navigation or any like anything that might help you with orienting the map?
Ancient history would be the closest I could come.
If you want to try that, and we'll see if it gives you any kind of lead, but right now it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like you have confidence that it's in your immediate region.
Well, there you go.
So
Yeah.
that's weird. It's like it rolled a 173.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
but it's an 11. So yeah,
I get a +3 on
Yeah.
a die roll, and that's about it. So
yeah, it's just weird that it showed the 173 up there because your 11 is your roll. But anyway, um, let's see. Um,
or am I doing that wrong?
no, I think that's okay. That looks right.
Didn't do anything.
Well, you need to /R at the beginning, but the rest of it's right.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. But you don't feel certain of where it's at either. It just doesn't seem clear to you.
Okay. I see no point not to go to Procampur.
Okay.
If
So, talking about the vision.
yeah, if it's good for Bart and your vision, right?
It definitely
Sure,
moves you
Ronnie
in that
wanted to go all
direction.
the way over. I'm not sure Ronnie wanted to go on a boat again ever, but
Well, it would get him his opportunity to deliver his message. And if it has something to do with the dwarves thing, that could be useful too.
do we still have any of the books or manuscripts that we found in the dwarven ruins?
Yeah.
I wonder if Procampur might be a place we could research any.
Oh, I've been reading the 6 dwarven books as we've been traveling here.
Well,
So
then you would have learned, I think, about some interesting things within those books. Again, I think I'd mentioned to you that there were ancient dwarven settlements in this region, and they were known as Damarans, and they were sort of their own group of ancient dwarves as well who lived underneath Procampur, and Procampur they basically settled, decided to come to the surface and create the settlement, and it's one of the most ancient settlements in the region, and you would have knowledge of that. You would know a little bit of the lore of the king of Glaroth, and some of the things that were done. Basically, the story goes that the King Glaroth, from Westgate, where you've been, had his treasury stolen by thieves, and they fled by ship and came to Procampur with it. And so there were a lot of people that were pursuing that treasure hoard, and that would be something that you would have learned about in one of your readings from those books that you had found, some of those ancient dwarven books.
Okay. Well, in that case, I really have no problem with going to Procampur if everybody else wants to go there.
My first thought is there any interest in the townsfolk or Militia and Dragon's Falls to set out trade reasons or
even hire a guide for us?
Yeah, any other caravan we can?
So you do have a wagon still that you've stabled here, and some horses that you checked in on when you returned, and everything was squared up there. So I think that's all been paid for. And as far as trade is involved, there is a blacksmith here and some other, there's a general store. So potentially you could approach them about trading on their behalf to see if they're interested in aiding your travel, as far as sponsoring your travel. But if you're looking for people to join you, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of locals just based on your impression that are ready to go do that. So there's not a lot of trust yet. Like they're kind of waiting to see trade reopen and people come to them. They welcome you as the first sign, but they're sort of waiting to see. So you find some reluctance, at least within the gates of West or of Dragon Falls.
Okay. Well, is there anybody who could be a guide over the mountains?
Let's see. So, where do you want to check this at? With Cormac, the town leader, or are you just looking on your own amongst the residents for someone to ask, or?
Are there any of the heralds here, or harpers rather?
So you know that you don't know of any of the specific harpers that are here. They do come through. They're one of the groups that does come through occasionally, but you haven't seen any on this most recent visit. And they're not always advertising who they are, but you just haven't connected that to anybody here.
Well, then I'll just kind of wander the town in my own, just kind of ask around here and there.
Sure. So I think the blacksmith would have interest in acquiring or sending goods across the mountain way. So he may make a deal with you depending on how much cargo room you think you have available.
How much do we have available?
So I think it's just the three of you.
Yeah.
And what he wants to send is a barrel full of some small knives and weapons that he's made. So he's just basically got a full barrel that is fairly heavy. It would take, probably easily two of you to lift it up and put it on. Might be, 150-pound barrel full of these weapons, and they're kind of crude. The weapons don't look like they're too special, but he says there's a market for them there, so he can pay you to take that and deliver that, and he'll give you the name of someone that has a store there that he works with, he trades with, called Meldath's. So I'll put that in.
Okay.
So if you'll take that job, he will pay you right now 25 gold. And when you get there, you'll get additional compensation.
Okay. I guess we'll need a letter of introduction.
Sure, he'll provide that and some other paperwork that comes with them, because you're gonna need to, when you pass into Procampur, you're gonna need to declare these as being in your possession, and you're gonna have to allow them to be inspected. And you're going to have to provide this paperwork.
And what's the value of the weapons?
His retail value that he thinks he'll get for them is maybe somewhere between 400 and 500 gold.
Yeah.
That's what he's declaring their value at. Whether you can get that, you look at them as being pretty standard weapons, like things that you would have got in Raven's Bluff at a fairly affordable price. So you don't see anything amongst the daggers and short swords that look any better in quality than what you've seen, and you've seen much better even. So
well, as far as guides or anybody militia-wise to go with, we're pretty much on our own, sounds like.
I'd like to appraise
if you're offering money to people, there's always maybe ways you could convince people, but as far as just people who are lined up itching to go, it doesn't seem like that's necessarily the case.
Yeah, I think we should hire someone.
You to be convinced, perhaps, but nobody ready to volunteer.
Right, and when you were here before, it seemed like there was a lot more that were ready to go, and a bunch of them did go, and so this town is short on heroes at the moment, other than yourselves.
Yeah. Well, there's my appraising roll of the barrel.
All right, sorry, I'm just walking in here to grab a beverage. What'd you roll? Did you succeed?
Natural 20 plus 3.
Oh. I think you're appraising. You want to be under, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have no idea what the value is of this thing. Like I said, it just looks like standard stuff to you. So.
The lower is. So why do I have a plus 3 then?
I don't know. Why would you have a plus 3? That's interesting.
I don't know.
I have blacksmithing. Can I take a shot at appraising the weapons?
Yeah, I thought for sure that it was like you had to be under on the check. But it's funny because I go back and forth so much. Yeah.
That would make
definitely
sense.
The mechanic.
Yeah,
that's definitely.
But why you have a plus 3, I don't know.
Well, it should be a minus 3 then, I guess. So, but that's still only a 17.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you can try to appraise if anyone else has appraising. Yeah, it should be a minus. That seems like the right.
Barely hits my intelligence of 17. So I don't know if that would actually tell us much.
Amy, I have blacksmithing. Can I take a look at the weapons?
Yeah, you can do that.
I mean, let's see. It's not right. It shouldn't.
Yeah,
an 18 shouldn't be a success.
Yeah,
it's strength, and my strength is 16. Is there a bonus for blacksmithing?
Something's off.
Yeah, something's weird with this sheet.
Something is weird. Yeah.
But you'll just have to take your die roll and ignore what it's doing with its greater than, less than calculation.
Yeah, so it looks like, it's a fail.
Yeah.
So like you said, they're just ordinary weapons, nothing special.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen things like this in the pits. I mean, there's nothing in here that you would like grab first if you were.
They're short on heroes and rich with weapons, so they might as well turn it into some cold, all right?
Yep. Yep. So you'll get you can pick that up whenever you're ready to leave town, or again, you can poke around and see if there's other interest or other people that could be hired. If you're whatever you'd like to do there. But there's a handful of people milling about that you've interacted with or seen for the last day or so.
It also gives us an upfront reason for being there, aside from we're looking for, trouble.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're there on official business as far as that is concerned. Now you have paperwork. And everything.
We have a purpose.
Yeah, and versus before, it would have been you would have had to have come up with a reason. So this is more legit as far as so you might feel good about that.
I think we could find maybe 2.
You never know.
Men at arms or something, or might be interested in being paid for a trip over the mountains.
Sure. Let's see. So let's have you make a. How do you want to approach? Let's say you see a few, maybe capable bodies, and you want to make an approach to them and see if they're interested. I'll have you do like if you don't have a specific proficiency, I'll just have you tell me what you're gonna do, and then we'll roll a charisma check to see how well.
If we're getting goods from the blacksmith, requires if the blacksmith actually somebody who might for a bit of work that might be tagging along.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Why don't we'll do a charisma check anyway, just to see how he responds to that.
I'm just gonna. Giant fail.
He said, if I knew anyone else that wanted to go over the mountains, I would have hired them instead of you.
Is there anybody that can provide us with a map so that we don't get lost and we can be sure that we get your merchandise to Procampur?
Maps, maybe you could check with Cormac. He may have some maps or in the general store. But it's there's pretty much one road.
Okay.
Maps by themselves tend to be a little bit expensive, and not the easiest thing to find, but you know of in the big cities that they're more common to find. You could, and Cormac has some maps, but as far as if you want to make him an offer for a map or something like that, you could try and do that.
That, or maybe just take a look before we go.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good idea.
Who wants
then
to...
we could at least see, but...
Yeah, if you want to consult with Cormac, he can at least give you some knowledge about it, if that's what you'd like to do, or unless you don't want him to kind of know what you're up to or anything.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's do it.
All right, so you can enter the building. That's this one here where he was holed up, and you can study the map. If you'd like to try to inquire about other information, you can make a check to see if you're able to do so. Otherwise, those of you who are trying to study the map, I guess we'll have you make a check, a wisdom check. For anyone that's trying to, I guess all of you would probably study the map collectively, and I'll use your collective wisdom checks to determine how well you as a group recall it.
Can I use my artistic ability to maybe draw a quick drawing of the map?
Absolutely, you can try to do that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so Mithra, she gets a good
under my super high wisdom 10.
Nice. So you get a good sense of it. At least you feel like fairly confident that you could recall it in a general way.
Is it like the blacksmith says? It's pretty much a straight shot. Follow the road.
It's a winding road, but it's one road. Yeah, it appears to be one main road. Cursa, you would basically almost have a photographic memory of the map at this point. It's if you rolled a 1 on this check. So
wow.
you would have pretty much taken a snapshot in your mind of this map, and you'd have a very strong mastery of it at this point. And you would concur that it appears to be one main road. That it does look like there would be obvious points where there will be intersections, but it does appear to be one main road. And it winds through the earth fasts, and once it breaks on the other side and you get in the lower elevation, it seems like it's definitely one straight road. So you guys have that kind of at least locked in your heads for now, for the time being. Now how you orient yourselves to it as you go and how you navigate, that's a different story. So that might be a little more concerning to you, is finding your way, but you definitely have a good visual and understanding of the map.
Navigation? What's that?
Are there any dangers that we might face?
Are you wanting to inquire with Cormac or someone else about that?
Yes.
Yes. Well, he kind of gives a dirty look to the prisoner who's still holed up there, and says, well, other than them, about the gnolls.
Okay.
And, well, there's always some banditry going on when you get maybe onto the, the far side of the mountains for the cowards who are too afraid to cross. So keep your eyes peeled for some of them. When you reach the far side and you start to get into the plains, don't let your guard down just because you can see your way.
Okay. Thank you.
And the other thing was that you had all passed. There was between some of the steeper mountains, there was a pass that you had crossed through before, and that was one of the places where there was other activity that you hadn't seen the activity. You saw the dead bodies, but you didn't see anyone else there. So I think that's it. I think you guys have picked his brain, at least as far as that's concerned. Any other questions for Cormac?
Does he know of the existence of any waypoints, for stopping at night, things like that might be up there?
So he's gonna.
Were they on the map, I guess, is my next question.
Were they? What do you mean? Oh, were there milestones on the map that would give you somewhere to go, somewhere to target?
Like 1 day's travel. Here's a good stopover. Another marking of where we might find another waypoint for an evening. Things like that. They might tend to use the same ones over and over.
So there's a
Of course, that could be good and bad, but
he kind of sits back and says, there are many obstacles in those mountains, and there are many holes that you can explore, as you know. And I think you've only seen the beginning of it. So one of the other things that he would warn you about is that there's rumors that there are tunnels in the Earthfast Mountains that lead to the Underdark, and that it's not completely unheard of that you may see drow, or people will report having seen drow elves in the region as well. There's a hidden peak when you get towards the south side of the Earthfast Mountains, and the hidden peak is called Iron Dragon Mountain. And when you get towards that area, be wary of drow and other activity, because there's some posturing that's going on in that region. So he's able to point that out on the map to you, where that would be. And then along the way, he shows you a couple of places where there were some mining activity that he and others sometimes will use as a stopping point, a resting point. So he'll point out a couple of those to you that you could use, but he says, obviously he can't confirm their condition or their safety at this point, since no one's really been up there in a while, other than you all.
True. Great. I have such high confidence that we're going to die up there.
If you do want to try to just put out, like the word that you're willing to pay for people to join you on your excursion, I'll let you do that. I think what we'll do is I'll have who amongst you will kind of be the recruiter or the voice that would get the word out, and I'll have you do a check to see what the response might be to that. Because
I'm happy to do that. What do we want to recruit? Like a
red shirts.
Do we want men at arms? Do we want
red shirts?
Red shirts.
Yeah, Star Trek red shirts.
Oh yes. People that carry our loot.
Or die on their swords. Yeah, one or the other.
Their swords. Maybe someone to repair the wagon if it gets
Well,
damaged.
I think it's probably the obvious things to you guys would be the navigation piece, survival.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you good at survival?
No.
So things like that. If you found yourself in extreme weather or something like that, would you have someone with you who could help you with those things? I think those would be the ranger's duties, and the ranger's not present, so you would kind of feel a hole right now in the team.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's always good to have swords. So you can always find maybe someone who is willing to raise a sword for you.
Well, either that, or we could take go to avoid Raven's Bluff. We can take go north and hit the next coastal town, and then hire a boat to take us down to Procampur instead.
Yeah, that's true. You can turn around and go back towards Tantris. Tantris is just north of Ravens Bluff. I don't know if you guys want to pull your collective knowledge about Tantris to see if it's any more or less inviting, but yeah, that's an option.
I think we're committed because we agreed to take these weapons. So let's yeah, let me see if I can find some help. Maybe make a roll or something. I don't.
Yeah, I'll have you just do a charisma check so that I can kind of get a call to arms, right?
Okay. And that's under 16. So yeah.
Okay, that's well under 16. So I'm gonna have you roll a d4.
Okay.
All right, so you get 2 interested companions who will take the job for. They will take it for 10 gold apiece.
We can pay them out of the party loot.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got there. 10 gold, you say? Wow.
So 20 total.
We're getting 25 from the blacksmith, plus an undetermined amount if we deliver.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're up 5.
And we're gonna need to buy some supplies, some provisions, and warm clothing.
Just looking at restocking my rations.
Yeah.
Out of that, so I might want a couple of weeks worth of rations to hold up with.
And I don't know if I haven't looked at your party loot or anything, but you may want to double check your party loot if there's anything there you want to distribute. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that.
Yeah.
Quite a bit in there. So it's not like you guys don't have money. You just don't. You
Right.
haven't converted it to money necessarily in all cases, but you certainly have.
I mean, we've got
you could barter.
Bag of gems. We've got coin. We've got potion of heroism from the Sahaquin priestess.
I would love one of. Oh yeah.
Ooh, we have 4 weeks of dry rations here.
Oh.
Okay.
So why don't we all take one?
There you go.
Okay.
And that will at least let's see, 1 week is left.
And we'll need
How long?
Retainers too.
Yeah. How long is this trip, by the way?
With your wagon and everything, you're thinking it's like 3.5 days.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad.
Okay. Yeah.
So the last week of dry rations can go to the hirelings.
I was gonna say for 10 gold, maybe they might just be bringing their supplies.
Oh, there is that too.
I don't necessarily have the charisma to convince them of.
I don't think that it was an offer that included the food, and I think they would rather have the money than the food, so they will provide their own grub, and you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good.
They'll travel very light as far as that's concerned, so I don't think they're too concerned about it.
Let's see. We've got lots of. I haven't gotten to the reading the books from the Knowles lair yet.
I'll get a couple tokens for these guys who you've hired. And
we have a short bows. We have this unnamed parchment with writing that has no episode number on it. So I'm not sure what that would be. We have some unnamed potions.
Let's see, parchment with writing. Knoll's lair. It would have been from the Knoll's lair.
Okay.
And that it looked like it was, if you want to take a closer look at it, it looks like it is perhaps similar type of paperwork for shipping to some that you've just seen from that of the blacksmith.
Okay.
So you believe that it was just evidence of one of the Knoll strikes and one of the groups that was hit by them.
All right. What were they shipping?
You guys have a lot of gems. Let's see, what was it that you'd found in there? You'd found several different things. It looked like they had weapons and some other like sundries that were taken and strewn about. There was clothing. Remember, there's a bunch of bags of clothing and textiles as well when you were in there. So you remembered kind of seeing all of these supplies strewn about in the Knoll's lair.
Yeah.
Hey, what about this potion of heroism? I could
Take
see.
it.
Can I take that? Because I could see it having a need for that in the front
Oh, yeah.
lines.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll.
Yeah, someone.
Not something Bart's gonna drink, so I think.
Yeah, really. It's not like either one of us will have any bonus with it. We do have a long sword, a short sword, and some leather armor in here, which we could disperse to the.
Yeah, if you would just so take anything that you guys don't want and move it. If you're trying to sell, stuff, make a list of the things that you don't want, and we can
drop it in chat for you.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming we don't need long sword, a short sword, and some leather armor. Everybody seems to have the weapons they want.
True.
And then we have 4 silver curved daggers. Did those turn out to be non-magical?
Have you checked those? I don't remember. There was a magical ring. The ornate daggers, let's see. No, they're not magical.
So it's 17.
Yeah, they're not.
Okay. Yeah, because I think we checked a lot of stuff. The White's treasure, cloak, belt, magical. Belt pouch, ring, magical. 3 platinum pieces, and a gem.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys take inventory here, you're sitting on 2 magical rings, at least 2 potions. No, 7 potions.
Yeah, we got a magical black raven. Yeah, we've got all kinds of stuff that we can't check.
Yeah, you've got quite a bit. So
somebody wants to just wear the magical ring the White was using.
Hang on, see what happens.
Or wear the belt.
Is that a situation where we would, uncover its actual
possibly
function,
if you are gonna wear it, if you decide to wear it and you take an action that triggers it appropriately, there's some rings that are just passive, right? You put it on and it might be a ring of protection. You don't have to do anything. Other ring, you may not notice what it does until you do the thing that triggers its ability. And that could be, who knows when that is, and but once that becomes apparent to you, then you would receive the benefit of, you would know what the object does, and you would get the XP for it. So I would say it's a calculated risk, in most cases. One thing we didn't necessarily do, I don't think, Chris, is we may not have looked at the School of Magic. So if you do a detect magic, I think you can kind of determine the school that it's from.
Okay.
And then that gives you maybe more information on the ring before you risk, putting it on. But
Yeah.
it's not like it's going to tell you it's cursed. It's just going to
Well, it
tell
looks
you a
like we
school,
have
you know.
2 magical rings.
Yeah, you do. You do.
So let's do both of them and maybe the Black Raven and see what schools of magic they have associated with them.
And I'm thinking of that right? It's detect magic kind of gives you
Yeah.
a notion of the school. So let me double check that real fast though. All right, detect. Yeah, so you can do 10 feet wide, 60 feet long. 10% chance. Okay, it's a 10% chance to recognize the school of magic.
Really? Okay.
Yep. So if you want to
Let's
just
do.
roll those separately, and anything else that's in here that's magical, if you want to try to make that check, we can just run through the list real quick.
Let's start with the whites. We'll start from the bottom then. Let's go with the belt from the white's treasure.
All right, second.
74. Don't really find anything there. The white's magical ring after that. Well, there's a lot of gold and
Yeah, you got a lot of gold.
platinum pieces listed in here too. I'll mix.
Yeah, that should all be added at the top and then just remove it from.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. Okay, so the magical white's ring.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Oh, you missed the first one. You missed the second one. Okay, go ahead.
Well, we got the magical belt, the ring. Then we're going to move up to the bedroom areas and bodies with the magical ring. So there's a magical ring. Yeah.
Dang.
I'm at the completely wrong end.
Yeah.
But 3 robes are not magical. 3 ornate daggers. The 2 potions, who knows?
Statuette.
Yeah, the statuette, I think, is the next one. Come on.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
So that appears to be conjuration is the school of magic.
Really?
The statuette.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Okay. So then, what else do we have going up from there?
I see.
We have a magical dagger with gems.
So that one would just be. I think that one is abjuration. Abjuration. Yeah.
Oh no. 5 potions. I don't know that that's worth. But here you go. Nope, on all of them.
Nope.
And we identified dust of disappearance that Ronnie has. A potion from episode 14. Oh.
That's alteration.
Okay.
Yep. So that's the school for that.
Let's see. I think that's it. Yeah.
Well, you got a couple. It's not. It's hard. I mean, it's a difficult skill, but identify will be where it's at once you get, if you can get yourself back to that. But yeah, you got some info out of them.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, you got quite a few things that you're not quite sure how they may work.
Well, the White's cloak, is that of any use to us whatsoever?
The White's cloak. Let's see, where was this?
Very bottom.
It's just a pretty tattered
Just a
looking
cloak.
cloak. Yeah, nothing magical about it or anything, or no identifying. It's not necessarily a disguise or anything.
Hey, does anybody want a belt pouch? Put stuff in. Yay, nay?
I think I already have.
Okay. Then let's do that. And then we have the 3 ornate daggers. We might find a better place to sell those in the town.
Yeah, I think so.
The 3 robes, are those the dark eye or
Those
whatever it
were
is?
yeah, those robes are in the style of the dark gaze. Those are
All right, I'm
that's
going to mark them dark gaze.
Yep.
Robes. And then we have 2 scrolls and a map. And a regular dagger.
Yep.
So, what are the 2 scrolls?
Let's see. This was the satchel with the 2 scrolls. So I think you can do a read magic check, I think, and you can identify them. That's
Okay.
under intelligence, I want to say.
All right, let's see.
Yeah, and make sure you remove these from this big one because some of these I'm not sure if anyone else wrote down before, but hopefully everyone's deleting them. I see a few people like put their name by them. That's probably should just delete them.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you
I'll
want
do it afterwards later on today.
Yeah, no problem.
D20, it wants to add, but I want to go minus. I don't want to add numbers. I want to. There we go. So here's the first scroll.
Let's see. What's your? Let me double check here.
17 intelligence. So that should work.
No, I think it's a. I'm pretty sure it's a.
Like the 85%.
Yeah, I think it's a percentage. So
okay.
You have to roll. Yeah, you have to roll percentile and roll under that.
All right, first scroll. Yeah, that'll tell me.
All right, cool.
Second scroll, I think that'll tell me as well.
So let's see, 73. Yeah, so you can roll 2 more percentiles for me.
There we go. 14.
Okay. The first scroll
38
is a 3rd level spell called Flame Arrow. Flame Arrow.
Cool.
Then what'd you roll for the second one? 38. All right. So the 38 is Leoman's Secure Shelter.
I've heard of that spell. That's a good one. Can you learn that one?
What level is it?
That's a level 4
Oof.
spell.
I can eventually.
Eventually?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, you should save it for when you can.
So
Heck yeah.
that turns out to be a pretty handy thing in your current situation, if you want to look those up. But the Secure Shelter is just that, and the Flame Arrow is a pretty handy offensive spell for you.
And the map, that the castle map?
Mm-hmm.
or something else?
What do you mean? The castle map? Oh
The
yeah, that was
satchel.
it. Yeah, that was it. Yep, there should have been.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
I'll just mark it as castle map. And then, okay, I'll clean this up later, but
Yeah, no problem. As long as you got the right notes in there that you know who's got what, and then eventually,
yeah,
if we trim it up, it and you
I'll
can
do it afterward later on tonight.
no worries. No, and when you condense it too, you can kind of keep checking them if you want to like keep checking for the things that you weren't able to detect.
Oh yeah.
So you got your two volunteers, actually hirelings, at this point, who I've added to the screen, and they will guide you, or they will not necessarily guide you, but they will join you on your trip.
Here's the things we'll get rid of here in town.
Okay.
Not many things, just the 5.
All right.
Just because they might have some use for them.
Yeah, can our hirelings, can they fight, or
Do
are
they have
really-
leather armor?
They think so.
Okay, okay.
They think they can. So let's see. You're gonna get. You can get 12 gold for all of that.
More than I thought.
Yeah,
All right.
the armor is more expensive here.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we
yeah.
go.
Yeah, they don't
Makes
really
sense.
they don't have an armor, but all right. So you've got those sold. You've got a couple more coins.
Yep.
You got your 2 hirelings. You've got your map pretty much memorized at this point, and several of you have retained it, so that's good. The 2 guys that you've hired are definitely more of seem like they're more on the fighting type than the navigating side. So, you know, one of you will probably still need to be the driver and navigator. You guys seem like you'll have to figure that part out of it. But these 2 guys seem like they are sturdy enough that they could be very helpful. So, you know, they'll even load the barrel on the cart and everything. You know, eager to go.
Mm-hmm. I'll drive the cart. I have charioteering
Ah,
Oh, okay.
There you go.
in the pits. My days.
Yeah, and I'll let you guys have control of these hirelings. I'll see. Let me get them a.
I don't know. I feel like
There we go.
I feel like we should provide them, or I feel like they should have some kind of missile weapon, even if it's just slings, because they're probably not good fighters. And
what are they armed with?
So let's see. One of them has a short sword, and the other one has a hand axe. I mean, I think a sling would be a reasonable thing that they would have as well. So,
okay.
I don't, a sling, as cheap as it is and easy to come by, would be an crude weapon that these guys could carry as well. So they have
Does either
both.
one of them want a short bow?
That's a good question.
Can they use it?
Let's see if one of them can use it.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, one of them says he'll try the short bow, that he feels like he can use it.
Excellent.
One more thing off our list.
And make sure he has arrows and.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Speaking of arrows, do I need arrows?
Was the iron key attached to?
Let's see.
It was prior to episode 14.
Oh, this was also from the Knolls Yep.
Oh, okay.
I think that came from, there was a, what you think was possibly a brownie or a sprite that you tracked into a little layer that was connected to the gnolls, and when you were looking through their things, you found that key amongst their things.
Okay, let me give a better description then. Sprite from the sprite?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Ronnie was the one that went up there. I think he was he was the only one that saw it, that actually saw it. So he knows more about it, but as it was described, it sounds like something along those lines. Something pretty small and quick.
Not a problem. I'm just trying to
I appreciate
put
it.
better descriptions so you can. So we really don't need what the parchment with writing you said was just
I think if you study that, you'll see that it's evidence of a lost trading caravan, basically, is what it is. So what that
inventory or something.
what the,
Nothing particularly
it's just
useful.
really a non-bulk item that's you can hang on to if you want, and it may or may not come in handy. So
Hey, we can always burn it. We can always write on the back
there you
side
go,
of it.
kindling. There you
The
go.
front side of it. Who knows what?
Yeah, well, I think this will be a good break point for a quick mid-session break. So we'll take 5 minutes, 10 minutes here, and come back and then get you guys out on the road and see what the mountains have in store for you and how far we can get to Procampur. Does that sound good to you all?
Yep.
Sounds good. Yep.
All right, cool. We'll see you in a few minutes.
All right.
Yeah.
We got these from the cultist, right? The reach of these agents far and wide.
That's true. That could just be the clue that they have reach far and wide.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the clue. Let me try and appraise the 3 gems that we have at the top of the inventory loot now.
Okay.
There's 2 from the cultist's dungeon and 1 from the White's treasure. So this is going to be D20 minus 3. So the White's treasure. And then the 2 cultists. All successful.
These are all gems?
Yep.
Okay. So they all were successful. Yeah, so the first 2, or 2 of them, I should say, are 50 gold in value, you estimate. And the other looks like it's around 250.
Okay.
Which you have enough gems that you could start trading for useful gems, like the pearls that you need, which might, occur to you that you've got some pretty good bartering.
That's what I was trying to figure out. I mean, if we've got we've got more than 2,000 gold pieces just in gems. We've got more than 50 platinum pieces. And we have lots of other little interesting things.
Need to find a place with enough pearls to
The 4 silver curved daggers. Those could be useful just because they're silver. And they're not magical, apparently. Are they special in any way, markings or otherwise, from episode 17?
They look like there's some kind of ceremonial dagger that's probably a part of the cultists' operation.
Oh, okay.
So not probably something you'd want to carry and use, or it might look like you're a part of their little gang.
I'll notate that.
All right, so I think we're all here. And we can continue to kind of sort through that because it doesn't necessarily affect your ability to move. So if you got
it's mostly done.
Say again?
I think it's mostly done.
Okay. All right. If there's anything else, let me know. I'll look it up. But yeah, it sounds like we got it under control. So I've got you guys on the wagon here. Let's see. These cats are trying to get in my drink here. All right. Oops. There we go. Trying to reorient this map. It is not cooperating. Okay, here we go. All right, so what is the plan as far as does that arrangement on the wagon look like what you guys want to go with? And is there anything else that you guys are doing in preparation for your journey before you set out of the gate? And then what time of day are you going to try to leave? Those kinds of things, I guess.
We have, oh, go ahead.
First thing in the morning?
Sure.
Following day? Yeah.
The Misty one.
We have like tents and stuff. That's what I was worried about.
What kind of stuff?
Tents.
Like camping supplies, sleeping bags, extra blanket. Right, it'll be cold up in the mountains.
Curse's got a small tent. I see that on yours.
Winter blanket.
Yeah, so if anybody needs any things like that,
yeah, I do.
You can pick that up pretty much at the general store here. So if you need any gear, regular gear, you can feel free to grab that.
Okay.
And then if you're going in the morning, then we'll say that it's like 2 gold a piece for your meals and your board for the evening, so that you can leave first thing the next morning. And that gives your hirelings a chance to take care of their business and be prepared, so they'll show up ready to go in the early AM wherever you say to be. And I think that's...
So what's a small tent gonna cost me? And like some sleeping bags.
Whatever the going rate is, it's not going to be any more than normal for that kind of stuff. So you should be able to come across whatever the player's handbook says for those you can use.
Okay.
What do they got for like winter clothing?
Pretty good selection actually for a small place, because you are nestled in the mountains, so they have pretty good gear for winter up here. But yeah, if you're looking for something like more than just furs or something.
Winter blankets like 5 silver in the PhD.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking a winter coat.
Sure. I mean, I would say it's similar, similar, something like that.
Yeah, let me see what the player's handbook has.
That's the blanket.
Let's see. And who's Amithra's driving, right? Okay, she's in the front.
Yep.
Okay.
I have riding land-based, so that might help if I have to do it.
Yeah, I mean it's not charioteering or whatever that's called, but it's close, right? It's similar, so that would help you if you had to drive, that you could use that.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping. At least some amount of how to make a horse do something.
Lark's just gonna get a winter blanket and kind of snuggle up in the wagon for the most of the trip.
All right. So sounds like everybody's picked something up. Anybody else have anything else before you leave the village? All right, then I think sounds like we're good to go. So we'll again, it'll be morning when you decide to leave, so it's daybreak, I assume, and you will all meet up. Your two hirelings, for a second, you're not sure if they're going to show up, and then they both show up together, ready to go. And you guys pack aboard, and they are kind of sitting in the back, looking a little bit, maybe just slight nerves about the trip and everything, and you can sense that, but they are ready to go, and you guys will set out. Cormac will say goodbye to you all as you're leaving, and thank you, friends, for all you've done for Dragon Falls. The evil that you continue to rid from these mountains will eventually subside, and we will return to normalcy, if there's such a thing. We wish you well, and you're always welcome to return here to Dragon Falls. There's always a place for you, and there will always be a bed. But may your journey treat you well, and farewell, friends. So with that, you all will head out into the mountain. And let's see. So let's have a couple of rolls here. Actually, I'm going to have each of you roll a percentile for me to help me kind of look at the random things that will happen as we traverse the mountains. And I'll just go off the order that they roll in. Doesn't matter, but
I'm trying to find. Oh, there we go.
I really don't see anything that lists like winter clothing.
This would be something, right?
Wow.
Yeah, that's good. Matt comes to visit us or something.
Yeah, Chris, I'm just thinking 5 silver. So if you want like to write down that something's like winter clothing, you can just call it 5 silver per piece. And I don't know any better that there's a more descriptive list of winter clothing, but here I would think it's cheap, just because they need that kind of supply.
Yep.
Are we communing with Orcust or something after Amithra's roll here?
We'll get to that in a moment. Chris, if you can roll D100 for me too. I'm just kind of getting our next series of things here together.
You got it. D100.
Yep.
Right in the middle.
Look at you guys are right. You were right next to each other, the two of you.
55, 56.
Platinum is worth 5 gold, right?
Yeah, I think, is that
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Yeah, I think it's 5. Let's see, 1 second. So, there we go. All right. So you guys basically start ascending the mountains pretty much right away after you leave Dragon Falls, and you remember this trip well. So you've gone up and down this a couple of times, back and forth. This time, hopefully, not to come back for a bit, right? So you spend the first part of your day really just ascending. You finally reach a point where you're making it through some of the passes that you were familiar with before, when and I'm gonna have a Mithra make a wisdom check.
Okay. Yes.
All right.
Well, presumably, yeah. Under a 10.
There we go. All right. Yeah. So as you're riding along on this pass, and a few hours have passed, you've maybe you're more than half a day into your journey, up on the sort of plateau of the ridge line, when you look ahead and you notice what appears to be a large humanoid figure standing somewhere on the pass ahead of you, what you feel like is like maybe a quarter mile away from you at this point, pretty far away, but clearly appears to be some large humanoid shape. So you don't.
1. Is that I see? Is that right?
Let's see. What was your roll again?
3 out of 10.
3 out of 10. It looks like 1, but something's unusual about the way that it's moving. It's not moving in the way that you might expect. It's kind of waddling more than walking.
Okay.
So that's what you might notice.
Yeah, and since we're pretty big with the cart, I imagine if I see it, it probably sees us.
So yeah, as you're turning the corner, and you notice it, you have this moment to kind of react, but you definitely don't think that it would be long before it would notice you right back. But it's not staring you in the eyes at the moment. It's
Okay.
far enough away
Okay.
that you could maybe try to do something to elude, but
Is there any place I can drive the cart, like,
let me
bushes or something?
kind of show you where you're at here.
So when you say larger than human size, we talking gnolls, ogres, storm giants?
Something larger than a gnoll. Certainly
Hill giant.
something larger than a gnoll.
I thought he saw something, off in the distance, and then just turned away to sulk.
So, are you gonna stop the wagon or just continue to ride forward?
Yeah, I'm wondering if can I park it over here?
Yeah, so it's far enough ahead that you could pull it off to the side. You're sort of on a ledge. The road sits on a
Yeah.
ledge, so you could pull it onto the mountainside and kind of slow down. And let's see how well he observes you. He actually doesn't seem to turn in your direction yet, so it seems like you may have stopped the wagon without drawing his direct attention, or its direct attention, I should say.
Okay.
And at this point, let's see, for any of you who have been alerted to the fact that the wagon has stopped and slowed, and you want to take a look, you can give me a wisdom check as well.
Can you see it's the same way, or just roll a d20?
This would just be the d20. Yeah.
Well, maybe I could.
This
No.
is out
So you want to roll under your wisdom, so you should be good there. Okay. Yeah, so for any of you that passed this check, as you look out and you start to see this thing, it actually appears that it is a giant form type of creature, and as you kind of are laying eyes on it and it's moving around, you eventually see that it appears, and I'll actually put it on your layer so you can see it here, to have 2 heads on it. So it is appears to be preoccupied, kind of facing away from you at the moment. But as it sort of stands up every couple moments, that's when you notice that it's got 2 heads on it. So
I would like to take, like, up here above it, like, to make sure there's no one lurking above, ready to throw boulders down on us or something.
let's see. So let me have you guys. Right now, yeah, you don't see anything. Doesn't appear to be any other creatures nearby at the moment as you scan the area. Although it looks like he's got something up there that he might be eating on or something. So
I was going to ask if Bart or if any of us would notice any loose rocks above the creature itself in general that could be dislodged, perhaps with some type of concussive blast or.
yeah, that's a great call. Why don't you do a wisdom check, and we'll see if you have maybe survival or anything outdoors, non-weapon proficiency you want to try. But
Wisdom's 18.
yeah,
So 11.
Yeah, so I think you would spot a large boulder or 2 that would, if they didn't strike him, they'd come pretty damn close to him, and they'd at least create either a distraction or a barrier between you and him. So you do see a couple of boulders high enough that they do some damage.
The most Bart can do is point these out, I guess.
Yeah.
But doesn't really have any ability to project anything of force towards them to that, but
does it look like,
or perhaps 2 levels higher he might be able to, but
if they were dislodged, does it look like it would bar our passage, or
you think that it would probably break down enough that you could find your way around it somehow?
Okay.
Particularly with as many hands as you have.
Is there something you can do, Karza?
I've got a wand of earth and stone, so we could bring the mountainside down on him. And I mean that in a very literal sense.
That's a fair point. That is a fair point.
I'd vote that. It's more extreme than I was thinking, but
I'm not keen to face him in combat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you notice that one of your hirelings is visibly shaking at this whole prospect. The other seems like he's doing okay with it, but the other is pretty rattled.
I'll turn around to the one that's rattled, just like, go shh and pat him on the shoulder. Don't worry about it.
You got it under
It'd be
control.
easier to clean up after Kurza uses his wand than clean up after we try and encounter this thing, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I can turn the wall near him to mud, and he may very well just be swept off the edge. What's down below off this cliff?
It seems like it goes down into some valley between several more of the range, so just deeper valley.
So
No water at the
50-foot
bottom.
fall, 100-foot fall.
These are gonna be, let's see. So he's gonna fall. It would be probably 150 feet total. You know that the whole grade is, depending on how much of that he falls. Is the force of whatever you do has a lot to do with how fast he would fall. But of course, like in mud, it would be like riding a mudslide, you know, for him, versus a direct fall. So.
Well, I kind of figure like if I do a cone shape with the small end of the cone aimed at him and turn it all into mud, it should funnel out at him into a nice smack and hopefully go over the edge.
Or you create a mud underneath the
So
rock that Art spotted.
So I'm gonna have you guys do a collective dexterity check.
I don't want to necessarily damage the trail.
Yeah.
So if each of you can do a dex check.
Okay.
Okay, you pass.
I'll actually pass. Yeah.
7 out of 13.
Pass, fail. Okay. So you guys are good. So you guys are good. He doesn't seem to change his attention or anything like that. So just wanted to, as you guys are discussing it, you know, or whispering and everything, he, you know, and he doesn't notice you yet. So.
Well, we have to do something. We have to do something quick.
Yeah. Are you talking about just doing like a triangle shape to grab him to turn to mud? The side, or
more over this way, and then
on to him, or
yeah, it'd be more of a big opening, because I've got a lot of area I can affect back up this hill, this side, and I'll just do it that way, and I'll create it as the bottom of the mud portion as kind of a angled down towards him too, so it'll get velocity fairly quick.
All right, let me just.
So if it's like that, we can get a nice little angular like that, and it'll just kind of zip right down at him.
I wonder, what if he evades it? Like, should I distract him? Like, should I goad him? And
I'm going to create like a 20-foot wide.
So
area
let me
sliding at him.
Yeah, let me just remind you of the wand. So it has 5 abilities basically. You've got dig, which is 1 ability, pass wall, which is 1 charge, move earth is 2 charges, and you also could use a single charge for transmute mud to rock or transmute rock to mud. So those are the 5 powers.
Of the rock to mud.
Okay. All right. So let's.
Because it'll suddenly become liquid and just kind of roll at him.
True.
When I do that.
Now,
Are you within range to do that?
Let's see. Rock to mud.
I think when we looked that up before, it was pretty great range.
Yeah, the range is 160 yards.
Oh yeah, and then what these are like 10 yards apiece.
These are supposed to be 10. I think it's messed up on the sheet though. Let me double check. Yeah, it's saying 5. Hold on. There we go. So it should be right now. So generally it's about 120 to there.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Well, let me have you
all
roll your.
It's about 480 feet is what my range is.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll have you, I guess, Adam, if you would roll the group initiative, and then we'll have Kurza go first, and the rest of you can decide if you want to act after him or not.
Oh yeah, okay.
All right.
Now do I use the casting time or the use of the?
You already rolled.
Oh yeah, he got a 6. So
Yeah.
It's like what, 3? Speed is 3 to use a wand.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay, so that puts me at 9.
Okay. Yeah, and in this case, since you're the plan is, well, you guys tell me what the plan is, I guess, and I mean, but I can put you in whatever turn order you want to act in.
You have the advantage of surprise, right? I think is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he'll trigger all the actions. Oops, I think I got you in there twice, Kurza. Let's see. And I don't.
Yeah. So to declare, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna move it up a little bit, so he's within short bow range and fire. So that would be speed factor. Stat. Seven.
Okay.
Plus 6, so 13. Yeah.
It's just going to be casting bless. So I think that'll take the whole round to cast, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
I can't seem to change my initiative.
Let me remove you and re-add you. How about now?
Oh, no, yeah, now I see it.
All right, so this is where we're gonna see how and whether or not this thing is still preoccupied. 1 second. All right. Okay, perfect. So go ahead, Kursa.
All right. These two are, I think it's actually going to be more on the range of kind of like that, from here to here, from
these lines that you drew.
Yeah, from here.
Oh, there, those lines.
To there. It will be the area between them, and then way off map by probably 160 feet or something like that. There's a lot of mud.
Yeah, what is the area again of the mud that you create? Just gotta double check that. Let's see.
Yeah, but I can't find it in that. I'm gonna look at the stuff I have in my.
It's 5th level. Okay.
Yeah. All right, there we
So
go.
make sure we're interpreting it the same way.
RPGs, 2E,
Okay.
Player's Handbook.
Area of effect is 1 20-foot cube per level. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so creatures unable to levitate, fly, or otherwise free themselves from the mud sink at the rate of 10 feet per round and suffocate. Um,
There we go. Transmit
so
120-foot cube per level. Holy
right.
mackerel.
Yeah, so you can do 80 if that's right. And so you'll need to pick your 80, you'll need to pick 4 cubes basically. These are 10-foot cubes, so you can pick it that way. But I think if this is what you're intending, I think this would be doable with the range that you have and the area of effect that you have.
Yeah, because if each one of these cubes is 10 feet,
Yeah,
I mean, we could go
it's pretty close.
1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4.
it might be more
and
like
that's-
the inside lines, but it's still good. Okay. So
yeah, and then it'll be still go off map. So, and I'm kind of canting it so it'll slide off right at him.
yeah, so all right, you start to you lift the wand and you activate the power within it. You start to see the surface of that mountain turning to mud pretty quickly, and it's sliding, of course, making some noise, and the creature turns and sees it starting to slide towards him. So he's gonna react here in a moment. Hopefully, we'll see, or maybe not. Hopefully,
Both heads a little wide-eyed at the.
yeah, definitely. It's very difficult to surprise this creature. So the fact that you all did is a testament to the fact that you saw him early and you were able to pull off. But yeah, so the mud is sliding that direction, and it's starting to fill that area. So that sort of is happening as the rest of the group then can decide what they want to do. So Bart, you can act if you'd like.
So Bart was beginning to cast bless over our group.
Okay, perfect. So
What did you guess?
How about the two?
he's casting bless.
Oh, nice. That gives us.
And the two guys in the back of the wagon. One has a short bow. Is he going to use it? Or is he? Or too scared to use it?
What's the bless give, Bart? 1 second.
I think bless is +1 to hit and saving throws.
Okay. All right. Good deal.
I'm gonna look it up here.
All right. So your hirelings will take, command from you. They're not probably going to just fire on their own. So if you want to instruct them for anything, let me know.
I motioned for the one with the bow to come join me and close ranks a little bit so that we can get him at medium range.
Okay. All right.
So that was about 120 yards. 100 yards would get us into medium domain, so it's only -2.
Yep. Okay, so he'll
will actually raise any morale rolls they have by 1 as well, considering their ranks.
I guess we move like about there.
All right. So
as well as attack rolls.
Morale, attack, and saves. Does that sound right? for the bless.
Yeah, and saves. Yep.
Okay.
Creatures, any saving throws made against fear and effects by +1.
Perfect.
So 2 dice and morale rolls. Yeah.
All right. So at this point, yeah, you guys can you will have the effects of the bless at your side. So Mithra, you can loft your arrow first if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll do that. And so with +1 to hit, the medium range is -2, so it's going to be a net -1.
Okay, got it.
Why did when I clicked it, it says strength though? Something is wrong with the sheet, or I clicked on the arrow to hit button. And in the pop-up that comes up, Jimmy, is strength bonus. Do not modify this field. So it's not strength though, right? Or is it? No.
Longbow would be strength, but I think a short bow is just dex.
Short bow is dex.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So I shouldn't have my strength bonus. Anyway, I guess it doesn't matter but I think there might be something funky with the sheet. Okay.
Definitely. Yeah, I need to fix these sheets. I don't know.
Oh, I see. Okay, it actually prompts you through each one. Strength, dex, but neither of those matter. And this bonus is going to be -1 because we figured that out. Oh, I can't put minus in.
I guess just leave it as 0 then if it won't.
Wait, no, there it goes. Sorry.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
You guys have astonishing fortune, by the way. So that you would have 3 astonishing fortune. So don't forget about that if you do want to use it. Otherwise, I can have your hireling shoot next.
What do y'all think?
Well, you get 2 shots, right?
I get one at the
Well,
end.
one now, one later. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
let's just let
Yeah,
the
might as well.
hireling.
We don't got much time left. Let's do it.
Okay.
That's the
Let's do
spirit.
it. Yeah.
There it
That's
is.
the way. That's the way.
You definitely struck this thing.
Natural 20.
Yeah, I rolled a 20.
Yep.
It was worth it.
It was definitely worth it. Yeah, it was a
All
great
right,
roll.
now roll for damage. He's presumably size large. Doesn't matter though. It's the same for flight arrows.
Yeah, he's huge actually. They're 13 foot
crit
tall.
Table?
Okay, so this is just a roll 20 thing. Now it's popping up input value, strength bonus. Do not modify this field. This is +1. Obviously, I shouldn't get a +1. So I don't know if you're gonna have to subtract that or what, but
Okay.
so you know. But I rolled a 3 now.
So you rolled a
Okay,
3. Okay.
Yeah, and
That's
that
weird.
seems to be what it.
And it shows a 3. It doesn't even.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You rolled a 20. Did you roll on the
Oh.
No.
Oh yeah.
crit table?
Yeah, you need to roll on the crit table. We're underplaying your 20 here. This was an epic astonishing fortune here. Okay.
Go.
There you go. So you didn't get double damage, but you actually get maybe something better because in the current
that is pretty
situation,
better.
that's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, where did you strike the beast with your arrow? Where were you aiming the
I
shot?
was aiming for like probably this and
Okay.
I don't want him to move out of the way.
Yeah. So we're gonna say that he's turned in this direction towards the mud that's falling, and if I can turn him, there we go. And you've hit him on the right side, and struck, and so he's definitely stunned by the fact that he didn't know you were there. And 2 seconds ago he was enjoying a meal, and then the rocks started coming down on him. in the form of mud in a dry day, and then suddenly he gets hit with an arrow. So I can see why he's stunned at this point. All right, so your hireling who has the short bow that you gifted to him. Let me let you guys roll for the hirelings. I think that would be kind of fun. Who wants to take the shot for your short bow guy?
Mithra.
Okay, I can do
Yeah.
it. Should I just roll 1d20?
Mm-hmm. Just roll 1d20, and they'll need a 17 to hit this thing.
Better luck next time.
Yeah. He has bless, but unfortunately he does not strike it. All right, so the beast is unable to act. It is stunned. So that brings us back to the top of the turn order, and actually I'll let you guys
Did I get the second shot?
Oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, 2.
Yeah.
That one missed, but
Yeah.
you've done a pretty good job on this turn. And that should bring us back to the top of the turn order. So
Yes.
Bart, you are up.
Bart's trying to convince the other henchmen in the back of the cart that this is a worthy fight. Ladies Miss has blessed us with boons in our aid.
Okay, so you're gonna urge him to bring out his weapon?
He's got nothing else to offer, so yeah, he's trying to convince this guy to.
He's hyping up this guy. Okay, so I think he would go ahead and make a charisma check first. We'll see how. I know you're
10? That's not good. It's a 10. These are. It's not a great showing.
He kind of he thinks about it for a moment, and then he says, "Well, somebody's got to stay here and watch the cargo. I'll keep my eyes on it."
I feel like we're both arguing about that whole who's going to watch the cargo thing at this point.
Yeah. You're like, I'm already watching it. Why we don't need to both watch it, you know? So you guys are maybe bickering a little bit in the back there because you don't have any other actions that you could take. So, all right, that brings up our wand of transmute rock to mud.
Yeah, what's happening with that?
Yeah, so let me draw actually, because that's
a fun toy.
It really is.
Brought down to church in the last town.
So the rocks start to accelerate, and they actually slide down into this section here that I'm drawing, and begin to fill this with falling rock and mud. And it does appear to strike, some of it appears to strike the giant, and he does take some damage here from the falling mud and rock. Part of his body is starting to get covered in it, but he's still mostly out of the rock, so he's not, he's still very visible. But yeah.
I was hoping to propel him off the edge, but I guess that's not going to happen.
I mean, if he doesn't act, you know, he eventually will. He'll get washed right over the edge. But at the moment, he's taken some damage from the falling debris. And anything else that you wanted to do on this turn?
Well, let's do a let's see. Magic missile.
All right.
Ooh, minimum. Oh, wait a minute. 4 damage. Oh well.
Okay. So your
4 damage.
Your standard magic missile comes firing out, and it strikes him and causes
2 + 2.
2 + 2. All right. So he's he takes a couple more random hits out of nowhere. One of his heads is looking clearly now in your direction, towards the cart and towards all of you, while the other head is staring towards the mudslide. You would start to notice at this point that it looks like one half of his body is a lot more muscular than the other, almost like a crab that has a larger claw.
Oh.
It's like half of his body is a lot stronger than the other, and it starts to become noticeable to you that the right side of his body is the one that seems to be the stronger side of his body for whatever reason. So it's just something that you might observe as you're now, getting a great view of him and seeing him scramble.
Is that why he was waddling?
Well, you think that may have been because of what he was doing, which looks like he may have been eating something over there as well. But it's actually your turn.
Oh, yeah, I think I'm going to get a little closer and say we'll get a better shot if we get a little closer.
Okay.
And so motion for the retainer to follow me. How many yards can I move again?
You can move half your movement and still shoot. And since you're a human, I think that means you can move 30 feet.
Okay. Yeah, so it's not going to be not going to be able to get into short range, but it's 50. Yeah, but I can get a little closer. So 30 feet would be what? No, they're yards, right?
Oh, these are feet. No, these are feet. These are feet. Yeah, you can move up here. You can move up to that cube.
Okay. And that's what I'll do. So he follows. And take another shot.
All right.
Still going to be... Yes, medium. Go.
Unfortunately, that misses. Can you make a charisma check also, please?
Yes.
Oh no. Yeah, the hireling doesn't seem to follow you forward. He stays back where he originally was. He's like, this seems far enough. This is good spot. But he will still shoot. He just doesn't follow you all the way.
Okay, can I roll for him?
Yep.
So I shoot?
Yep.
Okay. Hey.
One more time.
I know I can do this.
Well, either that or just use the die roller up in the upper left hand. Oh, hey.
Hey,
I think he hit.
So 17 he hit. That's exactly what he needed.
I'm not going to call him a coward then. I'll just roll on my damage thing, I guess.
He needed the extra time to aim,
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you can roll that. Yep. Okay, so this arrow strikes him as well on his side, and he's taken a few things here already. He's got a face full of mud and a couple of thorns in his side. So 2 good hits. And it's back to his turn. Actually, it's his first turn. He wasn't able to act last turn, so he begins to try to grapple himself out of the effects of the mud. Let me see what he's able to do. He gets no savings throw, but he can try to pass. All right. It says it takes 1d6 days per 10 cubic feet for it to normally turn to dirt. Versus if you dispel it, it could immediately just turn to dirt. But yeah, so he's gonna try to get himself out of the way of this, and I'm gonna have him make a
back up. No
check.
problem.
Right. Let's see. So, all right, he is moving in this direction. As he is doing this, he gets pushed this way, and where's the drawing thing? Here we go. The mud is now pushed back all the way almost to the edge. So this whole area is now filled with mud and debris. There's a couple of limbs and things like that as well, and he's able to kind of push off a little bit, and he doesn't take the full face full of it, but he still gets knocked back. He does take some damage from it, and he's stuck. He's slowed by the depth of it, and it then would be back to the top of the turn order. So if anybody has anything they want to change, yeah. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yep. Always easy to forget those, but they add up.
I need to put you twice. Yeah, I need to put you twice on there.
Right. Oh. And that's a miss, and then presumably he's gonna take another shot.
The hireling, yeah, he can.
No.
He can take a shot.
Okay. Okay.
All right, and then we're back to the top. So if anybody wants to change their action, just update your turn order.
Yeah, I want to try charging at him. There's something about charging though that affects my initiative. I don't remember. I didn't get a chance to look up.
Is it a gladiator thing, or something?
No, it's just a AD&D.
Oh.
2nd edition tactics. Thought I had copied it. Might have been in one of the other sheets. I'll see if I can find it.
I'll look up too.
In the player's handbook, yeah. We'll look it up. Because I remember that was a successful strategy. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Charging 59, I think it is. In the old book.
I've got the premium one. Charging an opponent character can also charge a foe. Charge increases the character's movement rate by 50%. And character to make +2 bonus to attack. Momentum.
Okay, and a -2 to your
initiative
roll. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That's what it was. So my Drusus is. I'm gonna drop the bow. Drusus is 3. So it goes to 5. So I'm at 11.
Okay.
My net.
Got it. Oops. All right. Everybody else good? I'll just move you there. We're good. So go ahead, Bart.
What's he can move similar distance up to near where Mithra is?
Okay.
Here and start preparing a spell for next turn if it's required.
Normally not, but I mean, yeah, you can do that. I mean, so you've moved your full movement, and then you're preparing to cast in your next turn.
Let's let Mithra know that this looks like a giant foe, and if things go badly,
you're there to help.
I'll be here to help and cast aid upon Mithra to give bonus hit points and
cool
damage. So,
all right, Cursa, you would see that. You would see Bart kind of charge by, and now he's standing up ahead of you.
How deep is the critter standing in the? Is he
It's about half.
half of
It's
him
about,
in the mud?
It's about half. Yeah, he's about half in the mud where he's at.
I mean, up to his shoulders in that half?
Up to his waist.
Okay.
It's flowing over the edge, you know, so he's fighting it a little bit. Like you said, you know, you've got some flow going there.
Okay, but I'm not certain totally certain he's gonna go over the edge, though, huh?
Right.
Well, let's make all the mud rock again and lock him in where he's at.
All right. So you're gonna target the area where he's at and just that same kind of range of all the red, and you're gonna make that rock. Okay. All right. Cool. Let me just read up on that real fast too, because I think he's gonna experience some pains. Let's see.
Well, it depends on if it hits him before, and then turns to stone. Still might be a few flying rocks here and there.
Okay, yeah, so the mud to rock reverse hardens normal mud into soft stone, sandstone, or similar material. Okay, so he doesn't necessarily take damage from him being in it, but he becomes trapped to where that part of his body is completely anchored to the stone, unless he would be able to free himself. So, yeah, as you dispel that charge, the wand works, and it does turn into stone. And you do notice that his whole left hand leg from his waist down is now trapped in this sandstone, what appears to be sandstone. So he's anchored in.
Is that his weak side?
That's his weak side. That's his weak side. Yeah, that is his weak side. So he's now trapped in there. Anything else you want?
Good.
You want to move or anything?
You
can still move half if you want.
Just to there.
Okay.
Yeah, I figured a little bit to get out of the wagon and then move forward a bit.
Got it. All right, cool. All right, so that brings up Amithra. You see him anchored now. So you
change my tactic. Yeah, I was gonna charge and try and push him off, but I'm not gonna do that because I don't really want to eat his club. So that's even better to have him trapped. Maybe I'm gonna pick up my bow. Get ready to fire it next round, I guess.
I was trying to put a little icon on him. Okay, here we go. Okay, so he's anchored in there. Okay, so you got your bow back and you're getting ready to shoot him again next round.
You lose some. Is he flat-footed now?
Well, yeah, you'll get a bonus when you go to attack him, but he's not completely flat-footed. He's got a flat foot though, one flat foot.
And does our retainer with the short bow, does he get a shot?
Yeah, and you get a +2 to hit, so everybody gets a +2 to hit him while he's trapped. So he'll need a 15, or yeah, he's under bless as well, so he needs a 14.
And he misses.
He missed. Okay.
Oh well.
All right. The creature then is basically once again seems to be pretty shocked by the turn of events here, as his lovely day was interrupted by this band of hooligans that came from Dragon Falls and trapped him in dirt. But he basically starts to use both clubs to try to smash at the rock that's got his left leg trapped in it, and he starts smashing at it and trying to free himself. So as he's doing that, he's like knocking a few of the pieces away and seems pretty distracted. One of his heads is still looking though directly in your direction, while the other head is sort of the one that's focused on freeing itself. So
Creepy.
he wastes his time doing that. And I think, is there a second shot from your hireling?
Yeah, let me do that.
Not quite. And that brings us back to the top of the turn order. With Bart, you are up, and you're standing in better range here.
Yeah, I think Bart's just gonna grab, rock and try and look menacing. Probably a small rock that he can lift up because he's not super strong, but have no skills or anything. So he's here for moral support.
All right, so he's got a rock overhead, kind of, just kind of adding to the whole chaos of the scene here. He's winding up to throw a rock. All right. Then that means Cursa, you're back up again.
All right. Well, I guess we're gonna have to do the magic missile again. So I have a little bit more damage.
Okay.
Ooh, 8 points this time.
All right, and he did take damage again when you pushed him back. Okay, so 8 points. Wow. Okay.
Is he looking more than a little injured?
He looks, yeah, he looks like he's pretty injured at this point. He's definitely taken a few shots. Doesn't look like he's fresh, that's for sure. All right, anything else for Cursa?
Switch to a bow.
All right, he's got his bow out, and our other archer, Mithra, is up next.
All right. I will fire an arrow. And I guess I am at short range, so +1 from the bless.
So you get the 2. Is the 2 in there also?
Bring it up. No,
yeah.
that's
okay.
I didn't get the flat-footed in there, but I don't know if that's enough.
So you'd get 2 for that. So that'd be 4. You need to hit AC 3.
Yeah, so I just miss him.
Okay. You already added the bless? Okay, yeah.
I did.
I see
yeah.
it. Okay. Okay. All right.
AC 4 is not going to hit. Oh
yeah.
my word.
I'll remind you, you do have 2 more Astonishing Fortune, and we're about at the end of the session. We're minutes away, so it's up to y'all if you want to try and use any of that. But if not, it's looks like the hireling would go next.
Yeah, I'll roll for him.
Okay. Oof. Bad miss there. Mithra, you're gonna shoot again?
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, come on, let's do this.
Let's hit this thing.
So I'm gonna add plus. I didn't. Oops, I rolled the wrong thing. Anyway, I'm gonna totally add 3, right? I'm gonna roll.
Yeah, 3.
One for the bless, and then yeah.
There you go. Nice.
All right.
Just 2. Okay. So he's got a few arrows sticking from him, but he's still hanging in there. He looks like he's more bothered still by the rock than he is the arrows.
Yeah. How's he? Is he getting free or?
He's freeing himself a little bit. He seemed to knock off a third of what was trapping him on his last turn. So you expect that you might have another turn or 2 before he may possibly free himself. And that is it, I think, for that round. Is that right? Everybody go. He's smashed himself a little further out. And I think we're back to Bart with the rock overhead.
Yeah, I think Bart's gonna set the rock, like make a couple of steps and just throw a rock at him.
I love it. Throwing a rock at a giant is. I don't know that I've ever done it, but like it's so deserving. Like he deserves.
Yeah.
Specifically, was looking at us because I think one was distracted by the mud and the other was kind of staring us down a bit.
Yeah, yeah. So if you want to aim for his right head is the one that's staring you guys down. You could definitely do
This
that.
is, I suppose that's probably like called shot territory. This is either roll a 20 or miss type of thing, but probably sails by him. But
Yeah. Well, let's see. So
welcome to another month.
you needed to add the 2, but I see what you're saying. I
Proficient in rocks, and if you're
I
trying to hit a
yeah.
specific head, that's probably
I
yeah.
I think you may hit him, but you just don't hit him in the head, and the damage from the rock is gonna be like a 1d2. So if you want to try it, if you just want to roll 1d2 or /r 1d2, there you
Do
go.
it.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So yeah, you smack him with the rock. It's just he just maybe, doesn't even flinch as it's coming at him, and you think it's gonna hit him in the head, and then it falls sort of like a sinker and hits him in the chest. Still causes him some damage, but he almost doesn't even seem to blink, as it bounces off of him and scratches him pretty good.
I suppose I'll look for a sharper rock next time, maybe.
Yeah, you might
Just making him
need
mad.
a certain shaped rock with a certain throw to really cause serious damage to him. But at the same time, I love the fact that you just threw a rock at a giant and hit him. So, all right, Kurza, you're back up, sir. Unless there's anything else for Bart.
Second arrows. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yep.
And this is for, okay, gotcha.
The Mithra. Like, hit.
Yeah, that's a hit. That's a hit.
All right, let me. Finally.
Oh, okay, there we go.
And here's for the. Assuming he fires and misses. Okay.
Okay, there we go. So now we're at Kurza.
Well, guess I've got to use that bow. However desperate that'll be.
All out of magic missiles?
Yep.
Okay.
But +3's never hurt.
Yeah, he's AC 3. If you use your bow, you'll still get the +2, and you'll have the bless. So you would hit AC 6, that's exactly what you needed to hit with all the pluses, unless you had added them in already. Had you already added them in? It looks like you may have.
Yeah,
Oh,
I did.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
you have a fortune though, if you do want to use it.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean you're gonna lose them here in a second, so you might as well spend them.
Yeah, really.
So you need. All
right, I'm just gonna roll it straight.
Okay.
And...
AC 6 or better then would hit for you. Ah. Well, at least
or not.
Yeah. You tried. All right, so that then I think is everybody back to a Mithra. Go ahead.
Top of round or
we're still in the this is the next
third round or whatever it is. This is the next round. Yeah.
First shots.
Yeah. And how close is he to being freed?
You think he'll be free on his next turn?
Okay, so I don't think it's going to affect the initiative because the way the numbers. I'd like to. I didn't get declared, but I would like to charge at him with my sword.
Okay.
Like I was going to do originally.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
So you another +2. Yeah.
And roll with it. Let's get another +2.
So he's, let's see, 3, 7, 8. He's like an AC 8 to you right now, with you charging in.
So a total of +2 for Flatfoot, +1 for Bless.
And then 2 more
plus 3.
for charging,
No,
right?
2 more. Oh yeah, thank you. So 5.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dang.
And he's large? Oh yeah, I'll do it.
Oh,
Potentially
he's
more
quite
damage.
large. Yeah.
Here we go. Charging do additional damage? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. It just gives you a better chance though to smack him, which
Yeah.
you did pretty good.
Does
So
give me an AC penalty of 1 though. You noted.
yeah, so
And I get no dex bonus. Yeah.
he looks like he's hurting pretty damn bad after this hit. So you definitely see a change in his demeanor on his face that shifts from slightly worried to very concerned, let's say.
Yeah, blade.
Yeah, so he's definitely taken note of what's going on here and more frantically maybe trying to free himself. But before he can, you get your hireling shot.
Oh, yeah.
And mine too.
Yep, and you get your second shot. Yep. So you guys can all do your 3-second shots there. Oh,
Okay.
all right. There's a
hireling fumbled.
fumble for the hireling if you want to.
Probably gonna hit me. No. Yeah, I should probably resolve that first, huh?
Yeah, let's see what happens just in case.
Alright.
Okay, so just they're basically gonna have to spend their next turn regathering their weapon.
Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, so he's not gonna get a second shot.
Right.
Cursor gets a second shot.
Yep. All right.
Whoopee.
All right. So that brings us to the giant, and he now turns and pulls himself free from the broken rock. He's got his left leg free. He had a club in his left hand that was knocked out of his hand by the slide. So now he's just carrying the one club in his right hand, and so he turns and swings it towards his nearest opponent, Mithra. And
good times.
What is your AC?
So my AC is 4. Yeah, but it's gonna be at -1 because I charge. So, or net adds to it, right? So, AC 5, I guess.
AC 5. Okay. All right.
Yeah, for this round.
All right. And he's. All right. So okay. He misses you with his club, which kind of swings. He swings it by you, and his other hand, as he misses with the club, he kind of swings his open hand, his left hand, at you as well.
Okay.
And he misses as well with the hand, and you sort of feel the wind and the air blowing as he's swinging at you here. Missing with his large club and his large hand, but he does not strike you. So that is the end of that round, and we'll just do this next round as our last round. So we'll start with Bart. You got one more Astonishing Fortune also, I think, right? One more?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's see. I was just looking at Blast to see how long it lasts. It's 1 round, duration 6 rounds.
Yeah, we're on like 5 now, so you still have it's still active now, and it should have one more round, I think. Yeah.
He'll probably just end up tossing another rock at this guy.
Okay.
Get a natural 20. Oh.
I think you need a 15, I think is what the roll would be for you, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So you do hit him, and yeah, you're hitting him solid with these rocks. All right, so he definitely takes another one off of him, and the way he's kind of faltering right now, you all get the sense that there's not a whole lot left there, but he's still enraged enough that he's not stopping his forward attack here. So Cursa is up next.
He's pissed off and concerned.
Indeed.
Yeah, almost nothing. He's free to move now?
Yes, he is. But he's engaged with Amithra at the moment, so he has not moved.
I can use the last charges of my Ring of the Ram and try and just kind of paste him hard enough to push him over the edge.
All right. I think you gotta get moved down there.
I gotta get I gotta get within 30 feet. So.
Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be somewhere in here. So. I don't know if I can get close enough, quick enough.
Yeah, I think you can only move 30 and still attack, and then you'll be a little short of distance.
Yeah, because then it's yeah.
You might be better off just shooting the
Shoot the arrow,
even though it's not your best thing.
Hey, AC 19, what a way to go.
Okay, if you're gonna miss big. You know, why miss close? Miss big.
Yeah.
All right. So,
indeed.
So that shoots by. And we're back to Amithra.
Smack him! Smack him!
I'm gonna attack with the Drusus. This is the second round. If we're counting last round, which was the charge with the Drusus, I get 3 every 2, so I'll get 1 now and then 1 at the end.
Okay, that sounds right.
Attacks.
Yep, that sounds right. And he's just now got the he's free, so you don't get the 2 for that.
So we're just dealing with a bless at this point.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. And it's the last go with the bless. And that's a miss.
Take the astonishing fortune.
Yeah.
The last one, you might as well.
Okay.
We need to finish him now before he starts doing.
Yeah, he does some damage when he wants to.
Hurt. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, he's got 5 hit points left. I'm gonna tell you that right now because I am hopeful that you. There we go. Yes. So, tell us about how Amithra drops a giant.
I wanna cut off his hand. He's holding the club. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, so you slice right through his hand as if it were basically and it was in a perfect position to where you just took it off clean, and both of his heads and all 4 of his eyes roll back into his head as he slumps over and falls to the ground, dead. So well done.
What a relief.
That was good. Yes, and so that was it. That was in Etten. For those of you that haven't seen an Etten before, and they are 2-headed, and they one of the heads is usually like the dominant side, so that's why you get that difference between one side of the body being bigger and noticeably stronger than the other side. Had he hit you with his left hand club, he would do 2d8 damage, and had he hit you with his right hand club, it's 3d8.
Wow.
So.
Okay.
That was coming. That was the next.
Yeah.
I mean, that was coming. So you did a great
It
job.
would have been enough to kill me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah.
With 1 blow.
No, it was a perfect. Really, the tactics were great. Being able to slow him down using the wand like you did, and then taking advantage when he was stuck and not getting yourself too close. You guys really chipped away at him pretty quickly through all of that. So, well done. That was awesome. And that's a fair amount of XP there. So everybody here, I'll include that. Like I said, I'll calculate the awards for this session at that point. For next session, I'll have all of that in there from the last couple. And let's see, I'll just kind of give you guys a little bit of more information to end on here. But as you look ahead, and you're checking out this body, again, you see the 2 clubs that he had. he's also kind of wearing these furs that look like they may have been from some, like a bear or something along those lines, that he's kind of fashioned into some type of garment. Um, he smells terrible. It just smells like awful. As you got closer, in the fight, even it would have wafted and hit you, how sort of feral these things are, and how they have a real distinct odor to them. But what you notice up ahead on the ground, once I guess all this mud is dried, that it looks like there is a couple of bodies on the ground up ahead that look like they're humanoid, and they're all dead. And so as you guys kind of take a closer look at that group, it looks like there's a couple of humans who were killed, crushed, and they're kind of laying there, up ahead, and that's what he was preoccupied with when you turned the corner, and the only reason that you were able to surprise him was because he was dealing with that. So, so that's probably a good point to end for the night, and we'll pick up here at this scene. I'll let you guys, ask more questions and explore this scene more when we start the next session, if you'd like, unless there's anything else that you guys wanted to do here.
It's 23 session.
We'll say that again.
Session number was 23.
23.
20...
Yeah, this is session 23 total. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. So the Etten is our session 23 highlight, and you guys dropped the giant, which is pretty cool. I mean, these things have 10 hit dice. AC 3, THAC0 of 10. They're pretty formidable. It was good.
Yeah, he could have easily laid waste to all of us.
Had he ambushed you like they do,
yeah,
you would have been in a lot of trouble. The way they attack typically is an ambush style. And what happened here is you kind of came across the ambush that had already occurred. So you got to reverse it on him, and you served him some humble pie. So, but
lucky we did.
Hirelings are emboldened now and believe in our abilities. But...
yeah, I think you're right. I think the hirelings would kind of give you guys that extra look now, and maybe listen to you, even trust you more than they did before. Particularly now that Bart has, relieved the other of watching the barrel and the cargo, and he even jumped into battle himself and hit. You jumped out of the cart after the argument, and then you just proceeded to whale this thing with rocks, which is kind of cool. So I think they would all be looking up to you at this point as being heroes and more capable than themselves.
Bart very much stayed behind Mithra, and if push came to shove, he was going to cast spells on Mithra because he didn't want to get pounded again. So
yeah, that's good. You did good with that rock too. You did.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, well.
Are you sure that it's session 23 though? Because I thought the last one I listened to was like 20, and that was.
Let's see.
Is there one that you didn't post?
Yeah, there's one recording that's not posted for 22. That recording's not posted, I don't think. But yeah, this is 23 according to my account.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, it was good. I think you guys got yourself now moving in the right direction. You've taken care of your first giant, and you've got a plan. So that's what counts. And next session will be in a couple of weeks. Let me just double check the calendar. How do you guys look for next session? I think today is the 28th. So that would be the 12th. Okay, I'm actually out on the 12th. So we'll probably then, that means we're going to play on the 26th next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the game.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
good to
you.
Be back to it. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to see the three people at the table who
Yeah.
are ready to go. So no, it's good, and it's always nice to have a different mix. Like today, I think this was a good mix, where you guys had the cleric, the wizard, and the fighter. You know, I think that was a good mix. You didn't really miss your rogue too terribly much in this battle, but it's always good.
He would have had a great trick though. I'm sure he's always so tricksy.
Yeah, he probably would have snuck up and pushed that boulder that Bart pointed at. All right, guys. Well, you have a nice weekend. Thanks for the great game. And take care.
All right.
Great, thanks.